Welcome to CEO's Library, the 1% bookshelf. Today, we're diving deep into a game-changing marketing manifesto that will challenge everything you thought you knew about the field. Get ready to transform your approach to marketing and learn how to create meaningful change in the world. Marketing isn't about selling soap, it's about creating change. These words from Seth Godin set the stage for our exploration of his groundbreaking book, This is Marketing. In a world inundated with advertisements and sales pitches, Godin challenges us to rethink the very essence of marketing. He argues that true marketing isn't about manipulation or shouting louder than your competitors. Instead, it's about understanding people, serving them, and ultimately, changing the world for the better. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll unpack the core principles of Godin's philosophy and explore how you can apply them to make a bigger impact with your work. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a marketer, or simply someone who wants to make a difference, this episode will equip you with powerful insights to transform your approach to marketing. We'll start by exploring the concept of the smallest viable market and why trying to appeal to everyone is a recipe for mediocrity. Then, we'll dive into the art of creating tension and forward motion, understanding how status and affiliation play crucial roles in marketing. We'll also discuss the importance of building trust and earning permission in a world where attention is scarce and precious. Finally, we'll explore why your product or service must be remarkable to cut through the noise and how you can create something truly worth talking about. So buckle up and get ready to challenge your assumptions about marketing. By the end of this episode, you'll have a new perspective on how to create change, serve your audience, and make a lasting impact. Let's dive in. Our journey begins with one of Godin's most counterintuitive yet powerful ideas: the concept of the smallest viable market. In a world obsessed with scale and reaching the masses, Godin argues that the key to success lies in focusing on a small, specific group of people who share a particular worldview. Imagine you're at a crowded party. The room is buzzing with conversations and everyone is trying to be heard. If you try to shout a message that appeals to everyone, you'll likely be ignored or quickly forgotten. But what if you found a small group of people huddled in the corner, passionately discussing a topic you're an expert in? By joining their conversation and offering valuable insights, you'd have a much better chance of making a lasting impression. This is the essence of the smallest viable market. Instead of trying to be all things to all people, Godin encourages us to find the smallest group of people we can serve exceptionally well. By focusing on a specific audience, you can tailor your message, product, or service to meet their unique needs and desires. Let's look at a real-world example that illustrates this principle beautifully. Penguin Magic, an online magic shop that has become a powerhouse in its niche. Penguin Magic didn't set out to be the Amazon of magic tricks. Instead, they focused intensely on serving a specific audience: amateur magicians who are always hungry for new tricks to impress their friends and family. They understood that this group has unique needs and desires that weren't being met by traditional magic shops. Here's how Penguin Magic applied the smallest viable market principle. First, they created high-quality video demonstrations for every trick they sell. This addresses a key pain point for amateur magicians: the fear of buying a trick that's too difficult or doesn't look impressive in real life. Second, they built a community around their products. Every trick on their site is reviewed in detail by other magicians. This peer-to-peer validation is incredibly valuable for their target audience. Third, they focused on rapid innovation. By understanding their market so well, Penguin Magic can quickly identify and stock new, exciting tricks that their audience will love. The result? Penguin Magic has grown to dominate its niche, with a fiercely loyal customer base that keeps coming back for more. They've proven that you don't need to appeal to everyone to build a successful business. In fact, by focusing on serving a specific group exceptionally well, you can create something truly remarkable. So ask yourself, who is your smallest viable market? What group of people can you serve better than anyone else? By answering these questions, you'll be well on your way to creating marketing that truly resonates and drives change. Now that we've identified our smallest viable market, how do we actually create change and motivate people to take action? This brings us to Godin's next key principle: creating tension and forward motion. Godin argues that all change requires tension. Think about it. If people were completely satisfied with the status quo, they'd have no reason to try something new or do things differently. As marketers, our job is to create and relieve tension in a way that moves people towards positive change. But here's the catch: the tension we create must be aligned with our audience's worldview and desires. This is where understanding status and affiliation becomes crucial. Humans are social creatures, and much of our behavior is driven by our desire to either improve our status or affiliate with a group we admire. Godin puts it simply, people like us do things like this. By understanding the status dynamics and affiliations that matter to your audience, you can create tension that resonates on a deep emotional level. Let's look at a fascinating case study that illustrates this principle in action: the Blue Ribbon Campaign for a school budget vote. In a small town, the annual school budget vote was approaching. Historically, the budget had always passed easily, but this year, due to rising property taxes, there was significant opposition. The first vote failed, and there was only one more chance to pass the budget before drastic cuts would be implemented. A group of concerned parents decided to try a new approach. Instead of arguing vociferously in favor of the budget or passing out flyers, they took a more subtle route. They tied 100 blue ribbons to a big tree in front of the middle school, right in the center of town. Within days, the idea had spread. In the week before the election, trees all around town were adorned with blue ribbons. Thousands of ribbons, hung by dozens of families. The message was simple, yet powerful. People like us, people in our town, people who care about education, support our schools. This campaign worked because it tapped into the community's desire for affiliation. By creating a visible symbol of support, it allowed people to signal their values to their neighbors. It created tension for those who hadn't yet decided. Do I want to be seen as someone who supports our schools or someone who doesn't? The result? The budget passed 2-1. This example shows the power of understanding status and affiliation in marketing. The Blue Ribbon Campaign didn't try to argue rationally about the merits of the school budget. Instead, it created a way for people to affiliate with a group they wanted to be part of, those who support education in their community. As you think about your own marketing efforts, consider, what tensions exist in your audience's world? How can you align your message or product with their desire for status or affiliation? By creating the right kind of tension, you can motivate people to take action and drive real change. Now that we understand how to create tension and motivate action, we need to address a critical challenge in modern marketing: earning and keeping people's attention. In a world where we're bombarded with thousands of marketing messages every day, how do we cut through the noise and truly connect with our audience? This is where Godin's concepts of building trust and earning permission come into play. In his earlier work, Permission Marketing, Godin introduced the revolutionary idea that marketing should be a privilege, not a right. Instead of interrupting people with unwanted messages, we should seek their permission to engage in an ongoing conversation. Think about it this way. If you're at a party and someone you've just met starts trying to sell you something, you'd probably be annoyed and try to escape the conversation. But if a trusted friend recommends a product they love, you're much more likely to listen and consider it. That's the difference between interruption marketing and permission marketing. So how do we earn this permission and build trust with our audience? Godin suggests focusing on creating value consistently over time. Instead of going for the hard sell, provide your audience with useful information, entertainment, or experiences that align with their interests and needs. Let's look at a modern example that illustrates this principle beautifully: the Rap Caviar playlist on Spotify. In 2015, Spotify hired music tastemaker Tuma Basa to compete with Apple's new initiative in DJ-curated playlists. Basa took over the Rap Caviar playlist, and within months, it had grown to more than 3 million subscribers. But here's the key. Basa didn't achieve this by bombarding users with ads or notifications. Instead, he focused on consistently delivering value by curating the best new hip-hop tracks week after week. He understood his audience's tastes and preferences, and he used that knowledge to create a playlist that became an essential part of their music listening experience. By doing this, Basa earned the permission to communicate with millions of hip-hop fans every week. When he adds a new track to the playlist, it's not seen as an intrusion, it's eagerly anticipated. Artists now view being added to Rap Caviar as a major milestone in their careers, often leading to significant boosts in streams and popularity. Within 3 years, Rap Caviar had grown to 9 million subscribers, becoming one of the most influential forces in the music industry. Basa had built a permission asset, a group of people who actively want to hear from him and value his curation. The lesson here is clear. Instead of trying to grab attention through interruption, focus on consistently delivering value to your audience. Over time, you'll build trust and earn the right to communicate with them on a regular basis. As you think about your own marketing efforts, ask yourself, how can I provide value to my audience beyond just trying to sell them something? What kind of content or experiences can I create that they would actively seek out? By focusing on building trust and earning permission, you'll create a foundation for long-term success and meaningful relationships with your audience. Now that we've covered the importance of finding your smallest viable market, creating tension, and building trust, let's address a critical question. How do you stand out in a world overflowing with choices and information? This is where Godin's concept of the purple cow comes in. In his book of the same name, Godin argues that being very good is no longer good enough. To cut through the noise and get noticed, you need to be remarkable, literally worth remarking about. Think about it this way. If you're driving down a country road and you see a field of brown cows, you probably wouldn't give it a second thought. But if you saw a purple cow standing in that field, you'd likely stop the car, take a picture, and tell your friends about it. That's the power of being remarkable. In the context of marketing, being a purple cow means creating a product, service, or experience that's so unique and valuable that people can't help but talk about it. It's about going beyond meeting expectations to creating something truly exceptional. Let's look at a real-world example that embodies this principle: Tesla's disruption of the luxury car market. When Tesla launched the Model S, they didn't just create another electric car. They set out to redefine what a car could be. Here's how they made their product remarkable. First, they focused on performance. The Model S wasn't just eco-friendly. It was also one of the fastest accelerating cars on the market. This challenged the perception that electric cars had to sacrifice performance for efficiency. Second, they reimagined the user interface. Instead of traditional buttons and dials, Tesla introduced a massive touchscreen that controlled most of the car's functions. This gave the interior a futuristic feel that was unlike anything else on the market. Third, they leveraged software updates to continually improve the car. Tesla owners would wake up to find their cars had new features overnight, creating a sense of ongoing excitement and value. Finally, Tesla didn't just sell cars. They sold a vision of a sustainable future. By buying a Tesla, customers felt they were part of a movement, not just making a purchase. The result? Tesla didn't just enter the luxury car market. They fundamentally changed it. They created a product so remarkable that people couldn't help but talk about it, even if they weren't in the market for a new car. The key lesson here is that being remarkable isn't just about adding flashy features or clever marketing campaigns. It's about rethinking your entire approach to creating value for your customers. It's about solving problems in ways that no one else has thought of, or delivering benefits that go beyond what people expect. As you think about your own products or services, ask yourself, what could I do to make this so good that people can't help but talk about it? How can I exceed expectations in a way that's meaningful to my audience? Remember, you don't need to appeal to everyone. You just need to be remarkable to your smallest viable market. By focusing on creating something truly exceptional, you not only increase your chances of success, but you also push your entire industry forward. You raise the bar for what's possible, inspiring others to innovate and improve. And that's how real, lasting change happens. As we wrap up our exploration of This is Marketing, let's recap the key principles we've covered. First, focus on your smallest viable market. Instead of trying to appeal to everyone, find the specific group of people you can serve exceptionally well. Second, create tension and forward motion by understanding the status and affiliation dynamics that matter to your audience. Third, build trust and earn permission by consistently providing value over time. And finally, strive to be remarkable. Create something so good that people can't help but talk about it. These principles represent a fundamental shift in how we think about marketing. It's not about manipulation or trickery. It's not about shouting louder than your competitors or bombarding people with ads. Instead, it's about understanding people deeply, serving them generously, and creating positive change in the world. As Godin says, marketing is our quest to make change on behalf of those we serve, and we do it by understanding the irrational forces that drive each of us. So, how can you apply these ideas in your own work? Start by asking yourself these questions. Who is your smallest viable market? What specific group of people can you serve better than anyone else? What tensions exist in your audience's world, and how can your product or service help relieve those tensions? How can you provide value to your audience beyond just trying to sell them something? What kind of content or experiences can you create that they would actively seek out? What could you do to make your product or service so good that people can't help but talk about it? Remember, marketing isn't just about selling products. It's about creating change. It's about making things better for the people you serve. And when you approach marketing with this mindset, you have the power to make a real, lasting impact on the world. So go forth and market bravely. Find your audience, understand their needs and desires, and create something remarkable. The world is waiting for the change you can create. Thank you for joining us on CEO's Library, the 1% bookshelf. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out the full transcript and accompanying visualizations on ceoslibrary.com. And remember, the best way to solidify these ideas is to put them into action. So pick one principle from this episode and try applying it in your work this week. You might be surprised at the results. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep striving to make a difference. This is CEO's Library, signing off.